Okay, people, so I gotta say this, and this is the first time that I'm actually gonna say this when it comes to the Boruto series, because normally, y'all know, I can give it when I feel like, yo, something is off, I'm not feeling a particular character, I'm not feeling what's going on right now. But Boruto Chapter 70, as it stands right now, has really had me looking at the series in a very optimistic look, and also making me want to say something that I kind of wasn't ever gonna say, but I think I'm ready to say it, and I'm gonna say it in this video, so make sure you watch it all the way through, because you're gonna be like, yo, Fornev, what? Well, between that and the fact that people are calling this Boruto chapter a Jujutsu Kaisen ripoff because of Gojo's eyes, there's just a vast majority of things we need to get into. So without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit of Boruto. Let's see what's going down, dogs. Get pumped for
No
never.
matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, off rip, color page, Amado looking swagged out, especially if you know what you know that happens in the chapter and what he says later on. I get it. There's no dress code, dog. I get it, because the dress code is you. You are the dress code, fam. No, seriously, like, Amado looks beast as hell in this freaking cover page. And the first page we start off with, once again, taking off from where the last one left off in this dire situation of what the hell do you do? And I ain't gonna lie, like, alone, first page where you got Ada saying, hey, you want me to come to Konoha? Again, Shikamaru politicking in the middle of a dire situation just shows how much of a beast he really is, even at this particular point. Granted, I often worry, because if there's gonna be some sort of character that's gonna go, let's just say hypothetically speaking, there's a clause of no Naruto and Sasuke, right? Because you take Naruto and Sasuke in terms of popularity, 100% this entire franchise goes down in popularity a bit if you take either of them off the map. Who's the next best thing? Shikamaru. When I see Shikamaru bossing up and beasting and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, they give a lot of importance to this guy, especially lately, so just gotta throw that in there. And you know, his connection to Shikadai, and you know what happened to his bops, but him saying, that's right, don't you think you'd be best if you want to get closer to Kawaki? Yeah, he's trying to manipulate it using, what is it that sells the most? Y'all already know, I don't gotta say the word, y'all know what it is. 6 decimal. I had to add this in there to the end of the word, because yeah. And then seeing Ada's response to that immediately she goes into power mode, and Koda's like, yo, what are you doing? Because realistically, if Ada was to turn on Code right now, and her and Damon and everybody else joined up, it would be it. Like, there's no plot at that point. Like, Code is done, because realistically, Code at that particular point, well, after this chapter, I don't know, things might be different, but at that particular point, how strong is Code? Code isn't all that strong, at the very least, to be able to, by himself, take on all of these people. We saw what just happened in the last skirmish, where Boruto and Kawaki pretty much had him looking very bad. I'll just say that politely. Looking very bad, and not looking like a beast of a villain that he's supposed to be. And I always attribute that to the fact that the original author of Boruto, Ukyo Kodachi, he was very inspired by My Hero Academia, and if you look at Code resembles, to me personally, the growth of Shigaraki Tomoda from My Hero Academia. That was Ukyo Kodachi's inspiration for Boruto early on, and if you look at Code, he's kind of like maybe early to mid Shigaraki, or yeah, he was early Shigaraki, and now to mid. There probably needed to be more of a build up there, but that's where I feel the character was at and is kind of sort of resembling. Just nowhere near as badass. Like, let's be clear. And Naruto, the irony of it all, right? The code is inside the door, so Naruto can't get the code and can't get through the door in order to pretty much save the situation. And again, this is where I gotta just give massive, extreme props to Shikamaru. Because when Naruto's banging on the door and he's asking, you know, like, yo, what's going on right now? And they're like, yo, it's for your protection, dog. Don't come in here. Although, they probably can't do this, because realistically, again, there's just clauses that they can't do with certain characters. I remember with DC, there were certain things like, you can never change the way certain characters' clothes and their superhero outfits look and stuff like that. Like, there's all sorts of clauses with characters. I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe some clause of like, yo, you can't really have Naruto right now as an adult Hokage perving. First of all, it would be just wrong. That's the Hokage. Like, he can't do that no more. Sexy jutsu days should be over with. Has Naruto done a sexy jutsu since he's been Hokage? And Shikamaru quickly realizes that despite the fact that he thought he had the upper hand when it came to Ada, that she used her eye as he was talking to her to pretty much see through him and see the bullshit of what he's trying to pull, because Ada is that gal. I ain't gonna lie, the setups that they doing right now, I understand something very vividly, that Boruto right now isn't the biggest and most popular, especially sales wise. We had that big story that sales are not great for the Boruto manga at all. They're going downhill or whatnot, and I think that this is where they're like, okay, it's all over for this chapter of Boruto. And I don't mean 70, I mean the pre-time skip Boruto. It's kind of already a wrap for trying to make that a success. Well, what if we take what we have left and continue to build. And when you get Ada breaking down the importance of her Senrigan, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, and you know what it can do, and just Shikamaru's shock to it and everything, they're building the next gen. They're building the next gen of villains so that when we get to the time skip, you care about Ada, Damon, Code, and all of them. And I love how Amado just breaks it all down in Shikamaru. Again, Amado, whatever it is, I don't think it's necessarily completely evil, like just some world domination or I'm an Otsutsuki, but clearly the fact that, again, he knows everything about Ada's abilities. Honestly, Amado comes across to me as a liar. Like, he's a big freaking liar. You could argue, well, he's just telling, you know, mistruths, or he's not necessarily just giving you the full picture. He's a liar. Dude acts and plays dumb, like, oh, there shouldn't be other robots. Then Ada walks in and he knows everything about Ada down to the color of her toenails. And even with all that, Shikamaru still, dog, I gotta give props to Shikamaru when he's telling Ada there, like, yo, think fast, Konoha or Code, you gotta choose right now. He's trying to be very diplomatic, and at the same time, he's trying to quail something that can get really, really bad, because if things go left right here, it could get really bad, on top of the fact that they can't have Naruto come in, or he's gonna come in. You know what I mean. Naruto will be under the spell of pretty much like what's happening with Delta in the chapter, which I ain't gonna lie, dog. Delta has turned disappointing to a certain degree. I guess some people are laughing at the joke of her that she can't stop fangirling over, and she's pretty much in love with Ada. Dog, you know, you build up, oh, the mystery robot and the machine, you know what I'm saying, all of that jazz, kind of mixing between Android 18 and Android 16.
I am ahead.
Delta doesn't do anything but, oh my god, I want to lick Ada's butt cheeks. And shout outs to the conversation between Sumide and Kawaki. I'm gonna keep it a bug with you. That conversation was probably one of my favorite moments of the chapter. Just in general, first of all, trying to clear the air between, you know, what happened, of him kind of revealing that he basically killed Boruto, or almost did, because obviously he's alive and whatnot. And when Sumide breaks it all down to Kawaki of essentially she doesn't trust Amado, and when it comes to the karma, he's very involved in it, but it sounds like he wants it for his own purposes. What it possibly could be, only time will tell. Could it be that the karma has other properties we don't know about? And again, you know, there was a little bit of that peek into Amado essentially having a deceased relative and stuff like that. It could very well be that he's grooming Kawaki, because once the karma is at a certain point, maybe he could use it to resurrect people. Maybe he doesn't know about Ero Tensei and all of that jazz. Like, it could be, again, that is not necessarily the most malicious thing, but it's still messed up nevertheless. And I mean, not the most malicious thing because, hey, his end goal is that he wants, you know, if it is a relative to come back. That's not malicious, but you are being malicious of, dog, you sacrificing Kawaki, like, what are you doing? And it also gave a new perspective to Kawaki of him kind of saying, oh, yo, no, I need this. Like, I need that power of karma. And when Kawaki says that he needs the karma, that if it wasn't for the karma, he wouldn't have been able to save, you know, Naruto the 7th, if it wasn't for it. He kind of came to acceptance of, despite the fact that he hated it, despite the fact that this is a power that he resents, ultimately he understands that this is the power he needs to be able to protect and take care of the people that he loves. And please tell me it's not just me that on that very next page, when you see Amado getting stabbed in the chest by like Code, where he's like torturing him, I was like, poor Amado. Like, don't get me wrong, you're a mysterious dude. I don't know what side you're on. I don't know where you're up to at this point. You're just like stalking Kawaki and grooming his karma, but dog, they doing him dirty. Although, to be fair, Amado must have been through some stuff in his life, because he is taking torture, right? And maybe this could be a plot hole, this could just be irrelevant, but just think about this for a second. He is experiencing torture at the hands of, or the claws, better yet, of Code. And Code is strong, and without his limiters, he's like on Jigen, Ishiki, whatever, Otsutsuki. Like, he's really, really strong. So you're taking that level of pressure as you're being tortured, and conversating within your head of Shikamaru telling him, yo, I can't last much longer and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you are old, and your stamina isn't the greatest, but your stamina is enough to not die immediately by getting attacked by Code. And you could argue maybe Code is holding back enough, but Code didn't sound like he was showing any mercy to Amado. He's like, lift my limiters or you pay, dog. But God, I love Ada's reaction when she realizes that Kawaki's on the way. That whole confident, that whole debonair all goes out the window, and she's like, yo, we gotta retreat right now. Kawaki's on the way right now. We got to go, lads. Like, I don't know why that just was like funny as hell, because again, she's a fangirl. And then Amado gets caught slipping again. Like I said, he's a liar. This dude is a liar. This is all a lie. Because first of all, well, why is he revealing secrets to the enemy as he's being tortured there? Because he starts breaking down like, yo, dog, there's limits to Ada's thing, whatnot. When Amado starts revealing to Shikamaru the rules about Ada's abilities and stuff like that, this is a guy that just was playing that there shouldn't be any more robots left. Everything is all over, you know, very vague about it. The robots are here now, and he knows everything about the robots down to the blood relative, this, that. What? Come on, dog. He's shady. He's more shady than Eminem, Marshall Mathers combined, even though it's the same person, so... yeah, or is it? Reptilian. And Amado's persistence to, again, like, do all of this. The fact that he hit all of this and he tells Shikamaru, yo, dog, I knew that you would call Kawaki to come fight Code right now. And I knew you would risk him. And I'm not going to let that happen. So it could possibly be that, I don't know, he's Kawaki's grandfather or something, and he just feels like he's, you know, teaching him the right way. Or again, it's just more and more shadiness. And while, granted, it is a big question mark, and it does sometimes get daunting, like, dog, tell us already, or at the very least, give us more than just vague hints and rumors. But before Boruto Part 1 ends, I can almost guarantee they're going to reveal what's going on. And if they end up turning this dude into the biggest villain, and it's done correctly, this could change everything. This could actually give Boruto Part 2 the biggest perspective and purpose. Like, if Amado sheds his skin, like, let's just say he wanted to be young again, and he's trying to get the karma mark to turn himself young again, that's his whole goal. Then, if he achieved it somehow, let's just say he's able to somehow get a piece of the karma off of Kawaki and into his body to turn young or something crazy. It'll be the biggest plot twist of like, yo, the villain all along has been this guy that we've been questioning, and he kind of played everybody, and who knows, for all we know, this is all according to plan. Again, for all we know, this is exactly down to the detail Amado's planning of this is how we're going to get this done. And I ain't saying necessarily that Ada and them know, because we clearly seen that they've spoken, like they don't, you know, talk to him or nothing like that. This could very well be by his own design, maybe even alongside Kashi and Koji, which, whatever happened to Kashi and Koji? Is it just me? Like, what happened to the Jiraiya clone? Like, am I bugging out? Where is he? Amado, what's going on? This whole chapter feels like an Amado fest, but where's Kashi and Koji? And going back to the whole thing of Amado trying to protect Kawaki and not bringing him to the situation, and that's why he didn't say nothing or whatnot, a part of me feels also like he explains to Shikamaru, I knew you would have brought him and it could have possibly get him killed. So again, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, like, yo, I'm trying not to have him die. And, you know, I know to you guys, especially to Shikamaru and them that don't have, like, that heart for him, yeah, it would be okay if he killed Code and Code killed him. It kind of solve everyone's problems. Not today. Not on my watch. And as things get spicy, Code is like, you know what? I'll just torture you in another dimension. Forget about it. Throw him in the dimension. That's literally how I felt when he pushed Amado through that portal. I was like, what's going on here? Or not portal, the claw mark. I'm sorry, I forgot. Ikemoto loves his cats. If you don't know, you should be watching Forever News. Also, you should be subscribing and hitting that bell. But do I got to remind you, lad? It really helps the channel, and I'd appreciate it. And kudos to Ada understanding and kind of playing ball at a high level with Shikamaru mentally to understand that, yo, he's trying to play me right now. Delta, sweetheart, I'm in a bit of a bind. I can't move. He's on my shadow. Can you whip his ass for me, lad? That just shows, again, Ada between her abilities to be able to see certain things, but also her intuition to say, like, yeah, that ain't the best option. I think I'm going to continue on with this Code guy. But still, I got to say, Delta, at one point, I felt like you could have been like a Madara situation. Who's in the final coffin? And it was Delta. And she's just like, hey, I love you, Ada. Especially this line right here where Shikamaru's trying to stop them, and Ada says, let's meet again. Thank you too, Delta, dear. I love you. And Delta saying, I love you too, Ada. I was like, oh my god. Not that I'm steering away from seeing a ship like that. I'm not saying that. Although it's like robots, so do I really want to see robots shipping? And right here is where I feel like it was cemented that Shikamaru's gonna die, because when Code said, despite how it looks, I don't really like provoking extra animosity, but Nara Shikamaru, I've decided to add your name to my retribution list, so prepare yourself. And when he said that, that means that before he wasn't really looking like I gotta kill him. Now he wants to kill him, and don't end Boruto Part 1 with killing him, please. Legit, please don't end Boruto Part 1 with killing a character that I love, please. Like, I know Boruto has teased about, oh, we're gonna kill this one, that one, but that line adds further and cements further that they will do it. Like, Naruto Part 1, for example, or, you know, Shippuden, whatever you want to call it, it killed off Neji. Neji, you know what I'm saying? Nobody thought that was going to happen. They could go for Shikamaru. The anime is killing off people. And also, very funny that Kawaki just happened to appear after they already had dragged Amado away. Almost as if, again, this is in some sort of design. Again, it could just be coincidental, or, hey, you just missed them, lads. Or it could very well be that this is a part of a plan. And if I was Amado, I'm not even gonna lie, I'd be scared to death. He's in the lair now. He's in the trap. They got him there, and he knows, like, yo, dog, they're gonna use me and abuse me, and it's gonna be a wrap. How does he get out of this one? Honestly, I'm guessing that it has to continue on, that somebody is able to reach them, whether it be that Sasuke, with all of his travels, he figured out a way to their base, and he's gonna pop in and start throwing hands and save Amado. Unless they're gonna kill Amado right now, I don't think so. Amado's probably gonna get saved, and I'm gonna throw in my hat that let it be Sasuke. I don't know how he would get there, considering that his Renegon is Renegon. And after striking a deal with a shady guy like Code, Amado says the password, which I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was kind of fly, when he says there's no dress code, and an explosion happens, and we see the newly formed Code amongst Damon and Ada. And I ain't gonna lie, the design, it looks cool. It isn't like the craziest radical departure. A lot of people were saying, oh my god, those are Gojo's eyes, you know, the eyelashes and the blank eyes, what are you doing? It's not a big deal at all. Like, what, some blank eyes, and maybe you could argue the eyelashes are a little bit like Gojo's and shit like that. I think it looks cool. I think it shows some inspiration from modern era with a classic, like, you know, the Naruto verse, not Boruto. I'm not calling Boruto a classic, relax. But also, it's kind of crazy, like, the power that they've been scared of and everybody's been trying to stop is now here, unless, again, Amado, this is more part of a plan. Like, maybe this is a different type of Code, so to speak. And the chapter ends off with Code saying, forgive me, I'm about to just take you out right now, basically double crossing him. And again, unless he's gonna be killed, or unless the next chapter 8 is gonna say, wait a minute, and stop him, it would be a good time for Sasuke to do something, or somebody to do something, show up and start whipping some tail. Although with Ada there, it's kind of a difficult situation, unless, I don't know, you cover your eyes, ears, and just start swinging at everybody in sight. But I'm very curious what you guys think. First of all, what do you think about Code's new form? Is it too Gojo-esque for you? Also, what do you think about what happened with Kawaki and that conversation with Sumide? Do you think Sumide was on point? I mean, clearly she was on point. Also, is Amado gonna die? Is Shikamaru gonna die now that he's been officially added to the retribution list? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of the Boruto manga 71 and beyond. Time skip when it's coming. It's coming. That's what she said. That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yeah, you got the codes, lad. No, seriously, don't kill off somebody like Shikamaru. Please don't do it. Don't do it.
So just go to find me.